Freddie Wills here with my college football betting advice video. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast where I really go a little bit further in depth each week. You can search your podcast app. Just search college football betting. I'm the #1 podcast that comes up. Also, I will link in the show notes, iTunes, and my website, freddiewills.com, where you can subscribe and get my newsletter premium plays, which are 2-1 this year. Last week we gave out Baylor plus 14.5, which was winner by a half point. Definitely something that we want to talk about here. Give you a little preview to this week's podcast where I go over some of the odds makers' biggest mistakes from week number 3 and how that impacts week number 4 from a college football betting perspective. One of the plays where we buy low and sell high. Last week, Baylor obviously missed covering the spread by 18.5 points, and then they faced off against Duke, who covered the spread by 26 points. Classic buy low, sell high situation. The line was inflated, in my opinion, at 14.5, which is why we gave out Baylor as a premium newsletter play. Barely covered by a half point, but really when you looked at this game, Baylor was within a possession the entire time, and if it weren't for their -2 turnover margin, they might have won the game or a more impressive cover. Syracuse was another team that missed covering the spread the week before by double digits, and then they covered the spread against Central Michigan, who had covered the spread by 21 points the week before. Another buy low, sell high situation. So it went 2-0 last week. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast in the show notes, and I go over all of week 3's action, including some week 4 college football betting lines that I think are worth taking advantage of. I'll give you a little preview. Appalachian State will be a home dog this week by 4.5, 5 points. The market's moving that up to Wake Forest, who covered their spread by 20.5 points. I would recommend taking App State there. And Virginia Tech is another team that covered the spread by 20 points, scoring 61 points. They'll face Old Dominion, who did not cover the spread by 19 points. This game gets slowed down quite a bit. I would say take Old Dominion with the points. Not an official play, but kind of give you a mindset for what I'm thinking. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast where I go in depth, including some of the misleading final scores of week 3. I also will have a podcast on Friday where I give out a premium play. Last week I gave out Clemson. You can go back and listen to the archive. Until then, take care. Again, visit my website, freddiewills.com.